Hi, my dear student friends. In our previous class, we have discussed about account and its contents. Further, we have discussed about the accounting cycle, flow of accounting cycle. So, let's discuss about the theory base of accounting in this class. As we have discussed in the previous classes, accounting it is concerned with the few processes. They are recording, classifying, summarizing, analyzing, and interpreting the results. So it will aim at providing valid information about the financial performance of a firm. So that information will be received by various users such as owners, managers, employees, investors, government, creditors, and they will treat them as the decision makers. All those users will use those informations for the purpose of decision making. So it is very important that such information which will be received by the internal and external users, it should be reliable as well as it should be comparable. The comparability of information is required both to make interfirm comparisons and inter-period comparisons. I mean, inter-firm comparisons means to see how a firm has performed compared to other firms. It is called as inter-firm comparisons. And inter-period comparison, it means how it has performed as compared to the previous years. So to compare the information, it should be consistent. So such consistency is required throughout the process of identifying the transactions which should be accounted for, measuring them and communicating them in the books of accounts. So for this consistency, we need a set of rules, policies or principles. So this calls for developing a proper theory base of accounting, which is our today's topic. So in order to maintain uniformity and consistency in accounting records, certain rules or principles have been developed. They are generally called as generally accepted accounting principles. In short, we will call it as GAAP. See, in the first class, we have studied about accounting. It is an art as well as a science. Being a science, it consists of few principles, concepts, postulates used as the basis for writing the accounts and preparing the financial statements at the end of the year. Coming to the meaning of principle, a general law or rule which is adopted or professed as a guide to action, a settled ground or basis of conduct or practice is called or it is termed as principle. In simple, we can tell it as principles are those rules or procedures which are adopted by the accountants in general while recording the accounting transactions of a business. So all these are collectively called as GAAP. I mean generally accepted accounting principles. It refers to those guidelines, those rules professed for recording or reporting the business transactions in order to bring uniformity in the preparation of financial statements. As we have discussed, we need consistency. First, we need the comparability. If we want comparability, we need consistency. If we need consistency, we have to use the common rules and regulations. So for that uniformity, to bring that uniformity in the preparation of the financial statements, we need some rules called as principles, they are collectively called as GAAP in the context of accountancy. It is given by AICPA. It is the prime institution which will lead the accounting transaction, accounting works. So it has given the meaning of generally accepted accounting principles. So all these accepted principles are based on uh, past experiences, usages, or customs, statements by individuals and professional bodies and regulations of government agencies. So GAAP have evolved over a long period of time on the basis of all these things. These are constantly influenced by the changes in the legal, social, and economic environment. As legal, social, and economic environment changes, all these things will change. The principles will change. So, these principles are also referred as concepts and conventions. You may call them as concepts and the conventions. Concept means the necessary assumptions and ideas, whereas convention, it means customs or the traditions which we cannot prove, but they are in the practice as a guide to the preparation of accounting statements. In practice, the same rules and guidelines have been described by one author as a concept, by another author it as a postulate, and still by another as convention. Totally, there are few basic accounting concepts. Collectively, we can call them as basic accounting concepts. So, from this session, let's learn about the basic accounting concepts. With the examples, with the illustration, let's learn about the basic accounting concepts. The first important basic accounting concept as per the NCERT syllabus, it is business entity concept. The concept of business entity, it assumes that the business has a distinct and separate entity from its owners. According to this concept, the business is treated as a separate and distinct entity from the owner who invests money or any other asset in the business. According to this concept, business is different and the owner is different. They are two different bodies. This concept will tell that for the purposes of accounting, the business and its owners are to be treated as two separate entities. Business is an artificial person. In this concept, we should treat business as an artificial person. Owner, he is a person. Business, he is another person. They will deal and they will do the transactions. So here we have to treat both the persons, artificial person and actual person, as a separate entity. Similarly, if there are basic business units or branches, each of such unit or branch is also treated as a distinct entity. Take the example. If a person is having rupees 1 lakh of which rupees 80,000 will be invested by that person in the business, so it is called as his capital. So such capital, it should be treated as a liability in our accounts. So you know the meaning of liability, it means responsibility. So capital, it is treated as a responsibility of the business. Why? Actually the person has given that amount, but we have to treat it as a liability or the responsibility of the firm or the business. Why? Because business is different, owner is different. Owner has given some money and business has received some money as loan. So we have to treat capital as a liability. Hence, only the transactions between the owner and the business in respect of capital or the withdrawals for his private purposes. I mean, if the owner withdrew money from the business for the purpose of his daughter's marriage, his son's education, likewise, if for his private purposes, all those things are recorded in the books of the business, but the transactions of the private affairs of the owner are neither mixed up with his business transactions nor are they recorded in the books of the business. So it is because of to avoid complication in ascertaining the true profits of the business. This is the basic agenda behind the business entity concept. We have to avoid the complication in ascertainment of the true profits of the business. However, we have to note that legally there is no distinction between the proprietor and his business. If you go towards the law, both are same. I mean, business and the owner who will run the business, they are same. But he is personally liable for the debts of the business as per the accountancy. So this concept is very useful, particularly in the calculation of the trading profit or the losses of the business. And to know the financial position, this assumption must be done. Again, in nutshell, I will tell, business will be treated as a separate entity and the owner who invests money in the business is a separate entity and they will do the business activities being separate and distinct entities. So this is the gist of this concept. Okay. Then the next important concept or the basic accounting concept is going concern concept. It is the next assumption which we have to make while preparing the financial statements. So according to this concept, the assumption is made that every business is carried on with a view to continue it for an indefinite period of time in future and not to liquidate the affairs. Therefore, on the basis of this assumption only, we have to prepare the financial statements. I will elaborate this concept. See, we should not treat that the business what we are doing will end on a particular day. We will not fix the liquidation date of the business. I mean the closing date of the business. Today we have started. It will definitely end on 31st March 2021. This is not the correct way to prepare the financial statements. The basis of this assumption is we have to assume that all the financial statements are prepared and we should not end the business. It is going concern. This business will continue. So according to this concept, we can take all the outstanding expenses. I mean those expenses which are payable at. For example, actually we have to pay 5,000 in this year. If we have paid 3,000, then still 2,000 we have to pay. That 2,000 is called as outstanding expenses. And incomes, some incomes are outstanding. I mean in this year we have to receive some 3,000 as an income, but we have only received 1,000. Still 1,000, it is called as outstanding income, or something 2,000, it is called as outstanding income. Some expenses are prepaid, some expenses are some incomes are pre-received. So all those outstanding expenses, incomes, prepaid expenses and incomes which are received in advance are duly adjusted in the current year only on the basis of this concept, that is going concern. Business is carried on with a view that it will continue to the indefinite period. It will not end. With this mindset, we have to prepare the financial statements. We should not set our mindset as we will close this business on this day. We should not keep the closing date. Without keeping the closing date, we have to continue the business, so that only we will take brought down, so that only we will take carried down. So the next year is there, we will pass it to the next year, we will send some expense to the next year. So likewise we will record the transactions with this concept, with this assumption. So this concept is also known as concept of continuity. This is all about the going concern concept. Still more concepts are there, many more concepts are there. So let us learn about all those concepts in our next session. Thank you.